So for my diet, I did the Paleo Diet. Okay. The Paleo Diet is a diet based on the types of foods presented in the early humans, consisting chiefly of meat, fish, vegetables, and fruit, and excluding dairy or grain products and processed foods. The pros are that it's rich in potassium, the fats are healthy, has high protein content, and it eliminates processed food. So it's rich in potassium because of the fruits and vegetables. The fats are healthy because it's fats from nuts and avocados and those kind of foods. It's high in protein, and it's lean protein that leads to a lowered insulin response, and it gets rid of processed foods, which is something that a lot of diets are starting to take on since there's so much fat stuff in it. It does mention on here that the processed foods elimination improves blood sugar levels and blood pressure levels, and it can reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease and diabetes, which is a huge issue in the U.S. Cons: the food portions by the diet exceed the recommended daily allowances for those foods. The paleo diet For the paleo diet, there is no counting or limitations to how much you eat, really at all. It's just that you can only eat certain things, and there's not any rules of how much of those things you can eat. So, of course, that could lead to a problem. Eliminating entire food groups can mean essential nutrients and vitamins are not included in the diet. This diet completely gets rid of processed foods, practically almost completely gets rid of dairy as a whole, which can also lead to low calcium. Um, you could be missing vitamins and nutrients due to cutting out all of the food groups at once. It could also lead to low fiber, which could also lead to bad gut health since you're getting rid of whole grains. And to conclude it, the cons: it's not 100% possible to recreate as we have evolved as humans since prehistoric times and our needs have evolved. We also have plenty more types of foods in our diets that can be more difficult to completely eliminate. Can't be expected to 100% live like cavemen did, and yes, a lot of things have changed, and there's a lot of things that our bodies are used to now that are harder to get rid of. Not impossible, but harder. What you eat on the paleo diet, I have it right here: fruits, vegetables, nuts and seeds, lean meats, oils from fruits and nuts. You shouldn't eat grains, dairy products, lentils, refined sugar, salts, potatoes, and processed foods. Short-term effects, a big one I found was overcoming waning levels or feeling hangry since there's not as many carbs at all, energy-rich carbs, I mean. But this is supposed to be a detox symptom that should only last a few days. Basically, any diet you power through the first week should be good to go and lose that effect after that. A study in Austria found that it could increase your chances of diarrhea, fatigue, and also affect the quality of your sleep. Okay, long-term effects and our overall health: reduction of dietary carbs, increases in those two fats, and increase in omega-3 fatty acids, and reduction in omega-6, and reductions in dietary cholesterol. Who benefits from the paleo diet? People who have trouble following calorie counting diets with this diet. Again, there is no counting, it's just food you can and can't eat. People who want to lose weight, this diet has proved to have a lot of success with losing weight, and it's really just about if you can maintain this lifestyle. And people who are aiming to eliminate processed foods. Doctor recommendations. The number one I found was this doctor who wrote the Paleo Diet book, and they claim that by eating like our prehistoric ancestors, we will be leaner and less likely to get diabetes, heart disease, cancer, and other health problems, which are big health problems in the U.S. Is it cutting or limiting? You're completely cutting out dairy, processed foods, bread, and pasta. So again, it is kind of a drastic diet that could be a shock to a lot of people and could potentially lead them to not being able to maintain it, but it's for a good reason. So for the statistics of why we would benefit from this diet in the U.S., I just copied and pasted this experiment, and I have the link to it down here, where they took patients that had heart disease plus glucose intolerance or type 2 diabetes, and they had one group do the paleo diet and one group do the Mediterranean diet. So this one is comparing those two, but it still brought good statistics. Weight loss, they weren't that different, but with the paleo diet, that group had 5.6 centimeters reduction in their waist circumference compared to 2.9 centimeters in the Mediterranean. That one's really significant. Just thought that was interesting because weight loss can also help our issues with that we saw here. Testimonials, so there's a ton of these from the Paleo website, of course, but I just copied and pasted these two. The first one, she's saying that the Paleo diet helps her get off for medication, and the second one, Kendra, said that this helped her endometriosis and made her feel less bloated and gave her more energy, basically. So some last negatives, it can get expensive. It's all fresh food. Sadly, that is more, expensive nowadays. You don't eat any greens, which can be good for health and energy. It can be hard for vegetarians because it excludes beans, especially since it excludes beans. And it'd be hard for athletes potentially because they need 3 to 6 grams of carbs per pound of their body weight per day, and this can be very hard to do with just fruits and vegetables. To leave on a positive note, you're more likely to eat a clean diet. Um, they have good anti-inflammatory benefits, the paleo diet. If you're eating more red meat, you will get more iron, even though some people argue that red meat is not the best kind of meat to be eating. You may see improved satiety, you might feel more full between meals, and a lot of people lose weight primarily due to the limited food choices.